I'm glad to see that so many people could make it to this ceremony. It's been a long time coming. As many of you know, you'll find in your release and in the news release that was sent out, Concord University's radio station, WVCU, began broadcasting on May 1st, 2015. WVCU serves Concord and the town of Athens with original programming, news, weather, and emergency alerts. WVCU broadcasts at 11 watts and can be tuned in up to 5 miles away. WVCU has a power backup and continues to transmit during power outages and serve as a source of information for the community. WVCU can receive and transmit over 50 different types of emergency alerts, including severe weather alerts, natural disaster alerts, civil emergency alerts, local area emergency alerts, FEMA alerts, Homeland Security alerts. So we're proud to have a radio station that serves the community. Maybe I should back up just a little bit and say, my name is Jessica Lilly. I apologize for that.
It's a good name.
It's a good name. It's a good name. Little excited. Okay. This has been a project in the works for many years. Individuals who have worked on this project in the past include Mr. Tim Barnes, and there's current faculty and staff who really got their hands dirty with me on this project, such as Mr. Alvin White, who's unfortunately couldn't be here today, who it's my understanding is ill. He's a media specialist on campus and has moved the radio station several times, it's my understanding. He knows the equipment inside and out, and certainly better than I do. And he currently helps with their community outreach and prizes and helps to maintain the equipment and manage the station as well. Also, an important person that's helped to make this happen is the manager of radio and TV, Mr. William Bailey, who's sitting here. He has also worked countless hours over the summer. He and I helped to paint the radio station twice.
At least twice.
At least twice. He helps to troubleshoot the software issues, because certainly it's not something that I'm an expert in, and find solutions when there's problems. He currently assists with the logistics of dealing with the FCC and making sure that we don't break the law, which is a good thing, that we stay in line. Mr. White and Mr. Bailey also helped to pull thousands of feet of cable, it's my understanding, and I wasn't there when that happened, but I'm sure it was a huge undertaking and part of the process, and certainly instrumental in helping to make it happen. Also want to recognize the Division of Fine Arts, Mr. Jack Scheffler, sitting in the front row. I don't know what he was thinking when he asked me to work on this project, but I appreciate the encouragement and support throughout the process for sure.
You're the person who could get it done.
Thank you. There are also other current CU faculty and staff that worked on this project and helped to make it happen. Perhaps most importantly, the West Virginia Broadcasters Educational Foundation. We have Mr. Dave Barnett here, who's representing that organization and the foundation, who helped to make this financially possible. And we'll get to hear more from him in just a minute. I also want to recognize quickly Jeremy Scott, who's not here today either, unfortunately. He's the engineer that helped to install the antenna on top of the roof. He was kind enough to make several trips to campus to look over the technical specs and aspects of the installation. He helped to order parts, make sure that I was in line in ordering the correct parts for the actual installation. I'm sure there are a host of things that I could list off, and believe me, it's much more complicated than it seems or that I'm letting on, but he was the expert to get that part done. And while I learned a lot about engineering, I don't know enough about it to do his recognition justice, but Jeremy Scott certainly deserves recognition for his generosity and help with his project. So but he's not here. Also want to recognize quickly Concord University's maintenance department. They stepped up to help in several different areas. They helped to move the station, build a wall, pulled cable to the roof and the antenna. They hung pictures and numerous other things to help make this happen. So I'm very thankful for that department as well. Also want to say really quickly for the Office of Advancement, especially Amy Pitzer, for all of her tireless work to help pull this program together and helping to make today happen. Thank you, Amy. Also, quickly, Concord's relationship with West Virginia Public Broadcasting has also been an invaluable resource in making this long-term initiative a reality. Eddie Isom is representing that organization today. Thank you for being here, Eddie. And most importantly, I'd like to acknowledge the students that helped to make this happen, because essentially, while all of these people knew the ins and outs of the technology and the engineering and the logistics of it, it was the students that truly wanted this to happen and pushed to make this happen and pushed me to make this happen. And I'm so excited to say that our former WVCU program director, Derek Klein, has traveled all the way from North Carolina to be a part of this day, and he's sitting in the front row. He was one of the first students to really be passionate about this, to help make it happen, and he certainly deserves recognition too. His interest in the radio station a few years ago was really an inspiration to me. He pushed me as an instructor to try new things and get creative in order to make this happen. So there would be a roadblock, and Derek would say, okay, we can try this. And then there'd be another roadblock, and he'd say, but here's another solution. And I appreciate that, and that was great. Also want to say there's another former program director that's here, Mike Atwell, who helped make it happen as well. And he pushed through and helped carry the torch through over several years as well. And then finally, our first speaker of the day, because I wasn't supposed to speak that much, is our current student station manager, Jesse Stevens. Jesse has worked tirelessly to polish up the sound of the station, and I would say it's safe to say if you're listening to it on 97.7 right now, Jesse has had a hand in it in some way. Jesse?
Thank you very much. As Ms. Lilly said, my name is Jesse Stevens. I'm a senior here at Concord. I'm majoring in broadcasting and journalism, and I have had the privilege of being the program director or station manager or whatever you'd like to call it for just the last few months, but it's been an incredible opportunity. When I first started my college education, I really had no idea what I wanted to pursue. I tried countless electives, but nothing really seemed to click. And then finally, in the fall of my sophomore year, I discovered the Communication Arts Department. And I started taking classes in broadcasting and journalism, and I quickly realized that it was the perfect fit. And I've been involved here at Mountain Line Radio for about a year and a half now. And when I first started taking radio classes, WVCU was not on the air at that point. We were broadcasting online and streaming on the campus TV system. So there wasn't quite as much pressure to get things right all the time. And it was a lot easier, I would say, but as we've been going forward to go live on the FM dial, I have seen firsthand what it takes to run a radio station. So as the program director here at Mountain Line Radio, one of my biggest tasks has been going through our entire music library and screening songs to make sure that they are all FCC compliant. That mostly consists of checking for any profanity or obscene content. And as you might imagine, this is an incredibly tedious process, but it really helped me understand how much work goes on behind the scenes, so I'm really thankful for that opportunity. I've also had the opportunity to work with many different professional music distributors to help build our library for the station, and I've even had the chance to work with other radio producers to help get their content onto our airwaves. So WVCU airs several syndicated shows like Mountain Stage and E-Town and Inside Appalachia, hosted by Jessica Lilly. And in addition to all of the programming tasks that I've had, I've learned a great deal about many aspects of radio production. I've learned the ins and outs of our audio editing software. And I've always really enjoyed mixing and editing audio files, and now I really enjoy that I am proficient in the task of audio editing. That's been a tremendous blessing. Students who are interested in taking radio production classes have more to look forward to now than ever before. As part of the WVCU Radio Workshop, they will be able to host their own show live on the air, produce all kinds of types of announcements, program brand new music, work with station sponsors, and help to promote WVCU Radio in the community in many different ways. Being able to work at an FM radio station while in college is really an awesome opportunity, and it will help each one of us. It will help to prepare us for a career in broadcasting and journalism. I cannot express how thankful I am for the experiences that I've had here at WVCU Radio. I've learned so much about radio production, music promotion, and the field of broadcasting in general. So in closing, I would just like to thank the radio sponsors here at Concord. I'd like to thank Mr. Bailey and Mr. Alvin White. They have both been incredibly instrumental in the building of Mountain Lion Radio. But I would especially like to thank Jessica Lilly for all the incredible opportunities she has provided me with and the innumerable hours that she has poured into Mountain Lion Radio to make sure that our station is a success. I am absolutely thrilled to be a part of the official launch of Mountain Lion Radio, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for 97.7 FM WVCU Mountain Lion Radio. Thank you very much.
Next up, we're going to hear from Mr. David Barnett with the West Virginia Broadcasters Educational Foundation Legal Counsel, and also a member of Concord University's Board of Governors and alumnus of 1973.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here today on behalf of the Broadcasters Educational Foundation. About 15 years ago, the West Virginia Broadcasters decided that they needed to encourage broadcasting, both radio and television. And as a result, they took $1 million of their money and they set that money aside. They created a tax-exempt foundation, and we set up a board of directors made up partly of broadcasters, partly of those who are not. And it's been that particular group which has made awards on a regular basis to both colleges and universities in West Virginia, as well as high school broadcasting programs. It's been a real privilege to work with them. Let me switch back and tell you one interesting aspect about how I ended up here today. I'm a graduate of this school, and in 1971 and 72 on Thursday nights, I sat in a small room over at what's now called Beasley Student Union, and I was the disc jockey at that particular time. I think it was 7 till 9. And that meant essentially we took actual records, vinyl, and we put it on a turntable and we queued it up, spun it backwards to make that funny little sound, and we broadcasted, I think, in either 5 watts or 7 watts, I'm not sure, which meant that it went all the way to the towers and probably not much beyond. Oddly enough, that's not the genesis of my ending up representing radio and television broadcasters in West Virginia, but it gave me some bit of insight about what it was like to work for a radio station and ultimately to work for a television station. Radio has been very much a fabric of our lives, from Edward R. Murrow up to Bubba the Love Sponge today. There's been tremendous variety and tremendous opportunity in radio. And I think it's an appropriate thing for Concord University to make every effort to develop a next generation of people which will step forward in broadcasting. Terrestrial broadcasting, which is what we have here, quite frankly, remains a mainstay. It is the real source that people turn to when there's an emergency. It is the real source that people turn to when they need community affairs, news, and weather. So terrestrial broadcasting, quite frankly, is not something which is going to pass into oblivion in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I believe it's going to remain a very integral part of what we do in terms of broadcasting. Low power FM is a tremendous opportunity. It is something the FCC created both to allow universities, colleges, and specific groups to run radio stations, to have a reach, and to get their message out. And I would hope that Mountain Lion Radio gets that message out for this university, and I look forward to a continuing relationship. I will also tell you that when the Broadcasters Educational Foundation voted to give money on 3 separate years to Concord University, I abstained from that. But I did give the evil eye to the other 4 board members if they weren't willing to do this for Concord University, because I think this is critical. And quite frankly, I think it's critical that the other universities in West Virginia that are trying to develop low power stations have an equal opportunity, and I think it will, in fact, train our next generation of broadcasters. Congratulations to all those involved in the process, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
And I was saving this last introduction for before she got to speak. Dr. Kendra Balgus, our president here at Concord University, we go further back than the professional field, and I would have to say, as a student here at Concord, she always had the personal connection with me and with all of her students really in class, and I've told her on several occasions that she's a main reason why I actually started my career in broadcasting. I had the because of her encouragement and the confidence and the belief that she had in me that I could do it was one of the main reasons why I went into the news director's office in Beckley and told them that I was going to be their next intern. And then it landed me a job and went on, and here I am, and I'm very proud of where I am, and she had a lot to do with that. And the same goes for her, I feel, as a leader. She's encouraging. She was encouraging through this process. She was instrumental in helping to just make things happen that might have been challenging before, and I'm very thankful for her support in this process. Dr. Kendra Bogus.
Of course she was going to make it. It was clear without me saying a word she was going to make it. It's very encouraging to be here and to hear that you've come back and all of your interest in and the pride on your faces in what we're doing here today. It's a very big day for Concord. We're going to celebrate another educational opportunity for our students, and that really is what we're all here for. As administrators, as faculty, as staff and students, we're excited now because we know that 97.7 Mountain Line Radio, and I really like that name, will enhance Concord's ability and already strong radio broadcasting program. What a great opportunity for our students. As we move into an era where we talk about a liberal arts degree that's also defined by career focus, this is the definition of it. So on behalf of the university, I want to thank Jessica Lilly for her tireless dedication and commitment in bringing this radio station to life. I also want to thank her for thanking her students, who certainly are why we do what we do. And sometimes you don't realize that, but those nods that you give us and those little nudges, it really does make us run harder. So we really appreciate that. But she put a great deal of time and effort into this project, and we're deeply appreciative of her efforts. Because WVCU 97.7 is directly in line with Concord's mission, the mission of Concord is to provide quality liberal arts-based education to foster scholarly activities and serve the regional community. This investment in a part of our radio station is not only a fun, worthwhile activity for our students while they're here on campus, it offers a firsthand experience that's a wonderful resume builder. We have a proven track record here at Concord of producing graduates who excel in all forms of communication, from print media to radio to television. Members of the media, if you look around today, pick any regional newspaper, magazine, switch on the television, radio, you're going to hear and see the words of Concord journalism graduates. A new radio station is an excellent fit for us at Concord. It shows our commitment to broadcasting and the journalism program. Jack. Right, and all you've done for it. Thank you. The station will provide hands-on experience as well as offering elements of actually running a federally regulated nonprofit organization. And Lord knows we need a lot of experience in doing that in West Virginia. There are many nonprofits, and they're not all run beautifully. So this is a great experience. In a world in which digital messages can carry across the globe in a matter of seconds, the importance of having quality, fact-checking journalists is growing. I don't know about you, but last night there was something that was over and over and over showing up on Facebook, and people were going, it's a gag, it's a joke, don't get, you know. But people don't know the difference, and that really is the job of a journalist. The origins of journalism come from a basic human trait. We as humans are curious. It's natural we want to find information. Oftentimes when we share our stories with our friends and our family, we might stray a little bit from the truth. It's your duty as journalists, it's your responsibility to separate the facts from the untruths or the lies, and to hold our elected officials and other public and powerful figures accountable. With the ability for anyone to create a social media account, a website, or even a podcast these days, it is critical that our future includes educated, well-prepared, quality journalists. Not only is WVCU's first FM radio station a reason for us to celebrate, it's also a positive development for the community. We feel that this is another way that we're serving the region. From highlighting research meant to improve public health, announcing another football championship, 97.7 will be an outlet for new students to discover the opportunities waiting here at Concord. With higher education numbers on the decline across the country, the Concord community should take pride in knowing that we are investing in the future of the broadcasting and journalism program, the community, and the world's future. And this is just one of many such steps. Thank you.
And that concludes our ceremony in launching the radio station. I want to thank everybody for being here. There's cookie and punch over here, and anybody interested in a tour of the radio station, it's just downstairs. Stick around and let us know. We can probably fit about 4 or 5 people in there comfortably at a time. So thank you for coming.